crises, like, which made so much sense because like that Leo energy is all about like self-identity.
Mm.
And there's just going to be this, like, maybe that's the awakening, is like everybody just having a massive like existential identity crisis where they're just like don't know who they are anymore.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's part of it because we are programmed to attach to external things as our identity. Like,
Yeah.
I'm this culture, I'm this ethnicity, this is my job, this is
Hmm.
my life. And we've been programmed to make that our identity, but none of that is our identity. But
Right.
that's what they program us to believe is our identity. And so we have all these false perceptions, especially, I mean, of course, we know like religion's a big one. That's a huge identity for
Yeah,
people,
it's
is
huge.
their religion. And so
Yeah.
like we just hold on to these external things, but if there were, let's say, we know like there's going to
Hmm.
be a time where those things are going to change for people. There's going to
Yeah.
be truth that comes out where they're no longer going to be able to identify with these external identification ways to do that.
Right.
So we have to start that kind of breakdown process for people of like not being attached to these external things and
Yeah.
figuring out like what you're here to do on a purpose, a soul
Yeah.
purpose level, like who you are as a soul, what energetics do you bring to the table versus this is like my job and this is what I
Right.
bring to the table, you know?
I know. And I think that that's like, I feel like, I mean, we've had a lot of people like who reach out to us, but basically say the same thing. And it's like, the question for everyone is like, who are you if you remove everything that identifies you in some way? And I just keep thinking that, like, because it's like I think about it all the time. I'm like, we've talked about on like previous episodes. I'm like, at this point in the game, like, I'm just saying, I don't even know if full disclosure is gonna fucking do anything. Like, I don't even know if it will. You know what I mean? Like, okay, air the tribunals. Okay, put them on CNN. Like, what is it? That people are just gonna be like, oh, well, that's a deep fake. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if that's gonna do it. It's almost like it has to be like this internal crisis that occurs to get anywhere.
Because I feel like that's the only way to shake people of
Yeah.
when it affects them directly. Because I agree
Mhm.
with you, how much of disclosure or people that aren't the masses, so you got
Right.
like Fauci being okay, how does that affect you?
Right.
You fell for the scam, the COVID
Yeah.
scam. Everybody did. You could have got a vaccine and fallen for it even more. But what does Fauci getting arrested go? How is that going to affect your day to day life? It's not. So people, I agree with you, and that's where I feel the Q movement, or people that identify with the Q stuff and Trump and
Yeah.
everything. We always talked about how, again, like, how much is that going to really help people? How much are they
Right.
going to take accountability for ignoring people that have been talking about this for years, the vaccine, all of that? I mean, the ego is so desperate. It's like those articles that came out about like how the anti-vax should have done more to warn people about the vaccine. Like, they're going to keep find ways to blame outside of them, and disclosure
Yes.
gives them another opportunity to do that. That's why I feel like religion's a big one, because it pulls like what you think your soul is meant to be following in this lifetime in terms of spirituality. Like, we need to get to more of the core of that, of like that affecting people's everyday lives and their identities. That's why I feel like jobs are a big one, the financial market, like
Yes.
those would be the things to wake people up more than disclosure, because
I
people would be like,
agree.
okay, great. It's like what we would talk about aliens on the show, or
Yeah.
even disclosure, even on, things like TikTok. People in the comments are always like, okay, this is great. There's the cabal, there's the reptiles, there's all this disclosure, there's all of
Yeah.
this corruption, but do I have to pay my rent at the
Right.
beginning of the month? Because that's all people, if it doesn't affect them directly or alter the
Yeah.
current reality, they don't care. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Is disclosure going to stop strawberries from now being $16 at the store? Like,
Right. Right. Exactly. Like, yeah, maybe that.